Hey friends, how are you? Hold on just a sec, technical difficulties here. If you can only see how I have that camera happening right there. My name is Lois with Ellie Grace's Attic, and I am here today to show you guys how to do an upcycled paint bucket. I did one here just a few weeks ago. I posted a picture of it and a lot of you asked about it, so I thought it would be fun to just come on live and show you guys how I did it. It's super easy. There's a little bit of measuring, not too much, so I'm not going to overwhelm you. But these are a lot of fun. This is a new bucket that I got at Lowe's, and I'm going to post a supply list because we're using a lot of different things, but I'll post that on the on our page after we're done. But this is a new bucket. I got it at Lowe's for it was under $6. So you can buy them like this, or you can use an old paint bucket if you have one. Obviously, you just need to make sure you clean it really, really good. The new buckets are nice because I have used these to deliver food in, like a food basket. I've also used them as gift bag to kind of put, the one I did that I posted not long ago, I used it for a wedding gift, and the bucket had a purpose. After they took the gift out, they could use the bucket to save up money for a trip. So the one that I'm going to make today is going to be for a graduation party, and it will sit on the receiving table, and there will be some little papers for people to write well wishes to the graduate in May. So that's what we're going to use this one for. So you can use it though for just about anything, any idea that you have. The possibilities are really endless depending on how you decorate it. And like I said, this one was under $6 at Lowe's, but you could probably find them in any hardware store. This is just a gallon paint bucket, okay? And you can reuse your old paint buckets. Just make sure you clean them really, really well. I used to do these all the time. They're just a great way and a unique way to give a gift. You know, something fun, and it's always fun to upcycle something. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna start with the lid because that's the easiest part to do. And I'm gonna show you a couple of different ways to do it. I'm gonna move this. Y'all just got to bear with me because I've done these a lot, but it's been a while, and I have never done one live. First, I probably should have loosened this up. This is Mod Podge. We're going to be using this. Not just yet, but I need to get the lid open. Okay. I'm thinking I should have done that before I got on live. All right, so we've got our paint bucket. And we're also going to need some decorative paper. I bought, and I got this at Hobby Lobby, scrapbook paper. Some of it, I had some on hand, but I didn't have the right colors because I'm doing school colors. This is for our daughter. I probably should say that. She's graduating in May. Their school colors are black and like a dark primary green, and there's gold in there and sometimes white. So a combination of those colors. So we went with black and white polka dot, because who doesn't love a polka dot, right? So this is 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, and that's what we're using. But you can certainly do this with, hold on, I gotta find my words. You could do it with wrapping paper. I've decoupaged with wrapping paper before. You can do tissue paper. You can do any type of decorative paper that you have on hand. I like, now this isn't cardstock. This is a paper though, and that's a little bit different. This is like, it's thin like paper. Cardstock is a little thicker, and so it'll be harder to decoupage. So you do want, it's gotta be paper. It'll be easier. So like I said, we're gonna start with the lid because that's the easy part. Hold on, because I cut this already, so I'm gonna move it. Now I happen to have a handy dandy because I'm a scrapbooker from way back. So I have a handy dandy circle cutting like kit, like a system. But I'm going to show you how you can do it without the kit as well. So, and the reason I got 4 sheets of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. It only takes 3 sheets, but it's kind of like the measure twice, cut once rule. You always want to have a spare sheet in case you mess something up. So that's why I have 4 sheets. So we're going to cut the circle for the lid. I'm sorry, that's kind of blinding. For the inset. This is a 5.5 inch in diameter circle. That's about as much geometry as you're going to get out of me. So I have, like I said, this cutting system, and I'm going to do the circle on that. I have a cutting mat I'm putting my paper down on, and I think you guys can see me. Put that down, and then you drop it. Hold on. Oh, Finn caught it. The puppy dog is down there catching all my stuff. All right. So I have my cutting system. This is for my scrapbookers out there, this is a creative memory. Okay, real life, the mailman just honked the horn. Creative memories, scrapbook, circle cutting system. And so I have the longest blade, and I'm gonna put that on the outside, and I'm gonna cut around to get my 5.5 inch circle. Well, and I have wax paper down since we're gonna be decoupaging, so I don't. And you just have to hold your circle down as you cut around. And then you get a circle. Now, there's another way to do this if you had a compass. I don't have a compass, so you know, if you do remember back to geometry, the compass is the tool that looks like a upside down V, and you put the pencil in it, you hold the point, and you go around. Yeah, I didn't have all that. So, okay, I am so sorry, but the mailman's coming to my door, so y'all just talk amongst yourselves, and I'll be right back. So sorry. Nothing like an instructional video that gets interrupted, but we live in the country and no one ever comes to the door, so I needed to get that. So, okay, so another way to do this is with a compass, but I didn't have that. And if by chance I didn't have this handy dandy cutting system, another way to do it is to take your paint lid and move this out of the way. And all I did was take a scrap piece of paper, I set it over my paint lid, and I just kind of impressed it down in the lid, and I just used my fingernail and I went around and just kind of made that impression. And so then you just take some scissors and you cut that out, and so that circle will be your template. Then you can just lay it on top of your scrapbook paper, trace around it, and cut it, and you'll be in business. Okay, so there's always more than one way to skin a cat. No offense to my animal lovers. Okay, so you'll see that circle fits right inside the top of our paint lid. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and glue it. So I'm gonna take this is Mod Podge, and I use the matte finish. So we're just gonna dump some of that onto a palette, paper plate. You can put it in a cup, and I have a sponge. Can never have enough sponges. All right, I'm just getting that sponge good and saturated, and I am going to, and you want to make sure you don't have any dust or anything foreign on your thing. I'm just basically swabbing on the glue, spreading it around really good. You could put this glue on your paper, which I am going to do, but I always like to put a layer on the surface as well, just to make sure it's good and done. You are going to get glue on your fingers, but isn't that fun? I think getting glue on your fingers is therapeutic. Or at least that's what I learned in kindergarten, right? All right. So we're just going to get a nice layer, and you kind of have to, at this point, work fast because it dries fast, okay? So just go as fast as you can and try to get, like, don't glob it on there so much that there's big piles of glue. You want to try to do as smooth as possible so you don't have air bubbles or wrinkles or any of that craziness. So now that I've got all that glue on, I'm going to put it down and when I get it where I want it, then I'm just going to use my fingers. You can use, some people use like a popsicle stick or a credit card to kind of smooth out, but I find my fingers work just fine. You just want to get make sure there's no air bubbles in there. You just want to kind of, you know, go from the center out. Make sure you don't have air bubbles and that it's nice and smooth. Okay. So now that we have it nice and smooth, we're gonna get into our glue again, and we're just gonna go over the top. Now it's going on white, but it will dry clear, so don't panic. What this is gonna do is it's just gonna kind of seal the edges down. It's also gonna give it a pretty sheen. Is that the right word? Sheen. Okay, I can't read comments, but if you're on today and you're watching, please say hi. Let us know like what state you're watching from. If you're crafting today, what are you crafting, or are you working? What are you guys up to today? And then if you know somebody that you think might enjoy this video or want to try their hand at upcycling a bucket, please pass it on. The more you pass on our videos and our posts, the more Facebook likes to show our videos. Something about algorithms, but again, that sounds like math and geometry to me, so hey. All right, so here's our lid. It's done, so I'm gonna put it to the side so it can dry, and like I said, it dries really quickly. Now, here's where it gets kind of tricky. So bear with me. Let me move this glue, because if you know me, or if you follow me for any length of time, you know I'm kind of klutzy, so I'll see that spilling if I don't move it out of the way. All right, so our paint bucket, and first let me just say, you can decoupage like anything that's sitting still that needs a little pep, a little, you know, pizzazz. You can decoupage it and make it beautiful. I've seen people decoupage the front of dressers. I've seen them, gosh, you could do the paint buckets, you can do cans, you can do jars, you can pretty much glue paper onto anything. So, anyway, so we're gonna do this. Now, the only drawback is it's got this handle and it's got these two little things. So, like I said, I used to do these all the time, and my crafting friend and I had to figure out, because we couldn't find a template on how to do this, so we had to kind of figure out. Itasca, if you're watching, shout out to Itasca Broussard, my crafting buddy from way back in the day, helped me figure this out. So I'm going to show you guys, and I think I pre-cut some paper. Okay, so I'm going to take my 12 by 12 paper, and hold on. I also have a handy dandy paper cutter. You can get these. This is just Fisker's brand. You can get these at Hobby Lobby, at Walmart. You can get these anywhere there's a craft section. They're very nice, not just for crafting, but anytime you need to make a good straight cut and you need more than scissors. So I took my paper. Well, first I measured my paper bucket. Let me show you that. You want to get, there's a rim around the top and the bottom of the thing. I don't know if you could see that. Hold on, I have comments. Angela Bell, I would love to come to Alaska and scrap with you, sister, and craft. That would be fun. I love you too. So we want our paper to fall just inside these two. I don't know if you can see, there's kind of a lip at the bottom and at the top. So we want the paper to fall just inside those. So I've already measured, but it's like 7 3/8, something like that. Yeah, 7 and we're gonna say 3/8. But anyway, I'll double check. I actually wrote down on the paper, and you'll laugh. It's 7 1/4 plus 1. So I'm pretty sure that's 3/8, but anyway, you have to laugh. I get it done. I measure wood all the time just fine, I promise. So anyway, you'll see how that falls just inside the two rims. So that's what we're gonna do. But now to get around these guys, this is what I did. This is no technical process, but it works. This is a little, I'm from Southwest Louisiana, so this is like my Cajun ingenuity kicking in. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? So what I am doing is I've measured my paper and I cut it one strip, 7 3/8 inches wide, and I'm placing it down in between the two rims, okay? And I'm pushing it, I put it all the way to this little, I don't even know what you call that, this little bump where the handle is. And I took a pencil and I just marked right in the middle of this little circle. I just made a mark where the center is, okay? So I know. And then I turned around on this side and I did the same thing over here. I just marked that center. So that's gonna help me know where I need to cut my little circle, okay? So I'm gonna move this, get my cutting system back over here. And now again, I have a nice circle cutter that I'm gonna use, but I'm gonna show you how to do it also. So this little mark is what, so I know where the center of the circle needs to be. And I am eyeballing this part. So I'm lining up my little circle cutter with that mark kind of in the center. And again, if it's not 100% perfect, we're not going for perfect here, we're just going for pretty, okay? So if it's not 100% lined up, don't freak out, because we're gonna decorate it really pretty. We're gonna put some ribbon on it, and nobody's gonna notice that your handle circles are a tad bit off. So don't freak out, okay? So I'm putting this is the shortest blade, and I'm going inside my little circle, and I'm just gonna trim around. I put this wax paper down to protect my table, but it's kind of going everywhere when I try to press down, so. All right. Now I have, well, I got a little scrappy piece right there. I have a circle, okay? So we're gonna come over on the other side and do the exact same thing. So bear with me, talk amongst yourselves. I'm trying to see who else on. I said hi to Angela, Jamie, hey Jamie, and who else is on here? Jennifer, hey Jennifer. I miss you girls. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. maybe. Hold on. Double checking myself, so hang tight. No, I don't need to do it. I'm gonna do that on the opposite. Okay, I came in far enough on this one that I actually don't need. I'm gonna do it on the other paper, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is take my scissors, and where I made that mark, I'm just gonna cut straight into my circle, okay? Bam. So now I can get around that little bump. All right. So now's the fun part, glue. All right. Turn the paper over. I'm gonna glue on the opposite side here. And this has, I have bought paint buckets that are smooth. This particular brand has the ridges in it, and that's okay too. All right, you gotta kind of work around your, all right, and you just want to do a little bit on the bucket at a time, because like I said, it does go really fast, and that just is a mess. So, all right. So we got some glue on our bucket, and we got some glue on our paper, and we're just gonna line it up next to that rim, and the rim kind of works as a really handy guide so you know your paper is straight. And I am gonna come up a little bit more. I'm trying to center my little circle, but again, if it's not centered, don't freak out. All right, so now we have that, and you see we made, it went around the circle. So it's a little finagling. If you don't get it the first time, don't freak out. That's why you bought an extra piece of scrapbook paper, you know. And if you feel like, hey, it's my first time, I might need more, then buy 8 pieces of scrapbook paper, because you can always use decorative paper for other crafts. And when I bought this scrapbook paper at Hobby Lobby, it was on sale for $1/4 a sheet. But every other week, the scrapbook paper is 50% off at Hobby Lobby. Can you tell I shop there a lot? And you always have your 40% off coupon. But even without any discounts, the scrapbook paper is like under 70. I think it's 70 cents or something like that. It's not a lot. Okay, so I kind of smoothed that down because I want that's going to kind of be my anchor. So now all you're going to do, this is pretty easy, you just flip it back, okay, to the part that is not glued down, and you're just going to glue and smooth, glue and smooth. Super easy. So I'm putting on my bucket, and y'all, this is a really fun project. Maybe not, well, I think kids can do this. But if you have like some green bean cans that you want the kid, you know, it's a fun craft to do with kids. Get that leftover wrapping paper if you don't have scrapbook paper. Get some green bean cans, get the paper off of them, wash them really good, and get some, you know, decoupage, some Mod Podge. It could even just be regular Elmer's glue, and let the kids decorate a can. They're great for little piggy banks or little catch-alls for the dresser. They're great to hold pencils in, or ribbons or brushes or whatnot. It's a fun little kid project. Okay, so now we've got, you know, and I'm doing about 2-3 inches at a time. Like I said, you don't want to do too much, because the glue, not only does the glue dry, but if you do it 2 to 3 inches at a time, it helps you not get air bubbles. And once the paper goes down, it's a little tricky to try to get it back up and smooth it out the right way. So you want it to be as smooth as possible. Now, if my ridges kind of show, again, that's okay, because that's just going to add to the dimension and give it some interest. It's really, a lot of times in projects, anytime you could get dimension, extra texture, any type of 3D effect, dimension always adds interest to projects. All right, it draws the eye in. I'm kind of getting under there. Well, okay. All right. Gluing, gluing, gluing. And I kind of have to come up just a little to get it lined up right. Well, look, I said that, and look at me having to, okay. Okay, pull up some. I'm trying to get it all the way to the top over those rims. And again, if you get off a little bit, it's totally okay. That's what happens when you talk and craft at the same time. All right. All right, I actually didn't pull it far enough over. So I am going to trim. I'm just winging it now, so I'm just trimming a little bit off there. You can also do it that way if you want. I like the smoothness of the circle the other way, but I'm going to show you too if you don't have the little cutter like I do. A template that everybody has in their home. All right. All right, we got that first layer on, okay? If you don't have this guy and you don't have the compass and you need to cut this circle is, I think it's 2 inches. I didn't measure this one yesterday, but I'm gonna tell you, it's this size. It's a top of a milk carton or gallon jug size. So if you have a gallon of milk in your fridge and you take the top off, that is the perfect size for that. So you can use that as your template, okay? So now we're gonna real quick do our other sheet and get that glued on, and then I'm gonna show you how to do a ribbon. All right, and we said 7 3/8. This is like having to remember all your math skills. Or, as I like to call it, instead of 7 3/8, 7 1/4 plus 1 dash. You gotta love that kind of geometry. All right, so my thing caught, so I'm just gonna snip this end off. So we got that. Pardon me while I just move all of this out of the way. We don't need that anymore. All right. Cut over that. Okay, I'll just cut it as we go. All right, we're gonna do our circle cut one more time. The more you do this too, the faster you can get. All right. Hi, Michelle. How are you today? Hey, Miss Wendy. Michelle is watching us all the way from Canada. Oh my gosh. It is cold and rainy here. Is it like, are you covered in snow in Canada? Hold on. Bifocals. Newfoundland. Wow. Thank you for joining us today. We're so excited to have you with us. All right. I need this back. All right, we're just gonna cut this out so it goes around our little hump. Gonna move all this out of the way. Kind of regroup as we go. All right. And now we're going to glue the other side of our paint bucket on. Yeah, and make sure I'm lined up right. I'm going to come in just a little bit. That's going to be good. All right. So now we're just going to glue. I'm going to pour a little bit of Mod Podge down, and then once we get this paper down, we'll do our ribbon, and we will be done. And you can cut all your paper ahead of time. I'm kind of doing it as I go, and that would have made it go a little bit faster too. All right. Glue kind of on top. You can kind of get that glue and kind of smash those edges down so they seal really good in there. All right. Have you guys been crafting anything good lately? If you have, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have been crafting. If you like this video or want to see other videos like that or like this, sometimes I share recipes. Go up to those three little dots in the upper right, click on that and turn on the live notifications, and you'll get notified every time we go live. All right. Again, I'm trying to line up in between the two ridges as best I can. And we're going to come up a little bit more. Smooth it out as best we can. All right. And got a little bit of a air bubble there. So again, just smooth that out with your fingers. It's all good. All right, I gotta get rid of this wax paper. Hold on. You always have to protect your work surface, but that's getting on my nerves. It keeps moving. All right. So we got that. Let me move this over here because I'm left-handed. I'm trying to work opposite. All right, so we're on the downhill slide of our bucket. Getting that done. Yeah, like I said, this is a really cute way to give a gift. I have filled it with cookies and given it as a little food basket. The one I gave recently had a wedding gift in it. This one, like I said, is going to receive sentiments for a graduating high schooler. So, and then, you know, afterwards they can use it for whatever they want. They can take the ribbon off. The ribbon will be removable. It's a great way to keep treasures on a shelf or in your closet, or reuse it as a gift bag if you want. I will tell you this, and this is the wonderful thing about crafting, is I have never crafted a gift for anyone that it did not provoke some sort of emotion. Tears, laughter, happiness. People love handmade gifts. They love that you took the time to think of them and that you made something special for them. Handmade gifts are just always the best, in my book anyway. But like I said, I've never given a handmade gift that someone was not happy to get it. All right. Especially when it's customized too for them. Like this is the school colors, so that's kind of neat. A neat little keepsake. And it'll be really pretty on the receiving table at her graduation party. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. All right, I'm gonna just snip this a little bit to compensate. And again, this is one of those times when it's just not lining up perfectly, and that's okay. That's why we have scissors. So we just made it work. But for the most part, we lined up just right. I probably could have measured the length-wise, but it was just as easy to eyeball it. All right, now we've got that down. We're going to seal the edge really good. And again, don't freak out. This dries clear. You can kind of take your sponge and kind of rub that down on the seam to make sure you're getting it nice and sealed on there. I don't know if I said, but if I know you can reuse old paint buckets. Obviously, you just want to clean them very, very well with soap and water. Make sure all the paint is removed from the inside. But even if you get all the paint out and whatnot, I would not use that paint bucket. That would be one that I would use as like a gift bag or something like this that they're putting sentiments in or whatever. I would not use that paint bucket as a food carrier. Okay, let me just clarify that. If you are going to fill it with cookies or a food item, I would make sure it's a new paint bucket. I mean, they're under $6 at any hardware store. So I got an air bubble. So now I'm just playing in glue. And that's kind of where my seam was, and so that's okay. So make sure you use the new bucket. All right, so now I'm just gonna go around and kind of seal it. Make sure there's no obvious air bubbles. I mean, you might have one or two, and that's okay. Again, don't freak out. Can kind of usually smooth them out. And see, I'm just kind of going this way, or smooth some of those out. And so we're just kind of sealing it with that top coat. And all right. One last little bit of glue. All right. Now, again, it is still showing the glue on there, but don't freak out. It does dry clear. Let me try not to get glue up my nose. All right. This is our paint bucket. This is our lid, and it's cute just like that. Now, again, it is going to dry clear. Don't freak out. But it is super cute just like that. But why stop at that, right? When you can make a bow. Like if you could put a bow on something, like woohoo, right? I got glue on the table. Okay. Let me wipe my hands and we're gonna make a bow. It's an easy bow. Trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm gonna try to move my stuff over here so I can make sure you guys can see it. Bear with me. I think you can see that. All right, I have a yardstick, super easy. A lot of people, some people have the bow system, and that's great. Those are handy dandy, but I don't have that. So this is an easy bow to make without a bow system. I don't know that I have enough room. Hold on. Bear with me. All right, so I'm taking my yardstick, and this is just to measure the ribbon. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Okay, I'm gonna kind of, there we go, turned you around. All right, so where is, oh, it's right here in front of me. All right, I have a bunch of ribbon. I could not find, I found this ribbon first. I mean, come on, y'all. It's black velvet with rhinestones. Hello, I'm in love. I have to have you. And so I did. I bought this one first. And then I got the green, and I already had this, this plaid at home. So I was like, well, that works together. That's the school colors, but I really needed gold. And I have some gold. Let me show you. I used this on homecoming bags that I did, but I just didn't like the gold with this rhinestone look. So I was like, that's out. So I'm using this burlap kind of in place of the gold. It's in that family, so to speak, that tone, and it's a good neutral, and plus it's burlap, right? That goes with everything. So that's what we're gonna do our bow out of. So you pick whatever ribbon that you have or that you like that goes with your paper, and that's gonna be your bow. And the bow is gonna be 3 colors. Then we're gonna use this for the center knot, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. And let me see how much of my time. Okay, so I'm taking my ribbon and I'm just gonna fold it in half like so, okay? I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm just gonna make a little tail, I guess a dovetail. So I'm just gonna kind of cut down like that. And that's gonna make that pretty dovetail, okay? Now this is wired ribbon. One of the ribbons I picked up is not wired, but it's gonna be a top layer, but we're gonna make it work, okay? But it's easier to do the bow with a wired ribbon, okay? So I'm gonna take my ribbon and lay it down. I hope you guys can see properly. We're gonna do 7 inches, so we're gonna come out about 7 inches, and then at the 7-inch mark, you're gonna, or actually at the beginning, you know, you come out 7 inches and you're gonna pinch. That's gonna be the middle of your bow, okay? So we want our loop to be the same length, so we're gonna do 14 inches, okay? And we're going to pinch like so, and we're gonna bring it together like that. And you're gonna have to hold it tight, okay? Then we're gonna do the same process over. We're gonna come out 14, we're gonna pinch, and it's okay if it's approximate. You're just, again, you're using the yardstick as a guide, but it's, you know, it's not gonna, okay, I'm left-handed, so I gotta turn around. It's okay. Nobody's gonna be measuring your bow. So you're coming out the 14, you pinch, and you bring it in, okay? And then you wanna kinda twist. You wanna make sure you wanna twist it. Make sure your wire, like the pretty part of your ribbon, is on the outside and the wire is on the inside, okay? So again, this is a 3-loop bow. So we're gonna come out another 14 inches, pinch, and make our bow. Really hold it together, and then we're gonna come out 7 inches, and we're gonna snip. Oops. All right. Pull that out. Now we have a pipe cleaner, and you're gonna take your pipe cleaner, and you're going to try to hold it all in place and bring it around. And it's okay if it's not perfect right this second. We're just going to twist it like twice to hold this in place, okay? So, and you can use this bow. I use this bow on my I use this bow on my door hangers as well, on gifts. So you see we have 2 bows on one side, a loop over here, and our 2 tails. We're going to dovetail this guy right here. Okay, so there we have, that's the base of our bow, okay? So now we're going to do the next ribbon, which is this pretty velvet. Isn't velvet so soft and lovely? All right, and we're gonna do on this one, and we just put our other bow kind of to the side for now. We're gonna come out about 6.5 inches because you're kind of layering, okay? So we'll do 6.5, and we'll pinch it, and then we're going to make our first, well, hold on. So we did 6.5, so we'll come out about 13 inches. And we're gonna pinch and bring it in. And you're gonna fluff it at the end. Don't worry again if it's not perfect, okay? I'm gonna come another 13. And let me change hands. Another 13. Well, velvet is nice. It is a little slippery. But we're gonna get it, and we'll pinch, and kind of you want to pinch and twist. Make sure the pretty part is on the outside. Okay, I'm gonna do one more, about 13, pinch, and bring it in, and then we're gonna do the 6.5 about. Okay, and we're gonna, this is where it gets just a little tricky. You want to try to keep it pinched, and we can pull it and make it a little more even. All right, and you're gonna put this on top of this one. Undo your pipe cleaner. Kind of slide it out as best you can while you're holding everything together. Come around. Just keep that like so. And you're just gonna twist it tight, okay? So, and again, it's okay if stuff isn't exact. You're gonna make it, you know, you can still twist it and make it pretty at the end. I didn't dovetail my ribbon though. Let me do that now before I forget. Well, I'm gonna have to cut around rhinestones, so. Okay. And you do wanna make sure when you're cutting ribbon, these are, I have like 2 pairs of scissors. I have the scissors that, now I did cut scrapbook paper with this a minute ago, and that's okay. I have these cut scrapbook paper and they cut ribbon, and that's it. They don't cut willy-nilly stuff in the kitchen or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? They're craft scissors, so they stay in my craft desk. And so, because you want some clean, sharp edges for your ribbon, otherwise you get like you get like rough edges. Couldn't find my words. Okay, now the way I laid that too, should have explained that, is on my other bow, you saw I had 2 loops and I had a loop and tails. When I put the black one on there, I did the opposite. I put the 2 loops on top of the 1 loop kind of thing. So you're just kind of layering. Okay, so now we're gonna do the green. Look, I had just enough of that pretty black. I'll throw that to the side. And we're gonna do the green, and we're probably gonna come in about 6 inches on this one, and we'll pinch, and then we'll come out to 12 and pinch. And this ribbon is not wired, so, but that's okay. We're gonna make it work for what we need. Okay, and we're gonna come out 12. That is what I love the most about scrapbooking and upcycling, is it doesn't have to be perfect. It really doesn't. I think that the unique pieces, the things that aren't perfect, are really the most beautiful things. So we're gonna come out another 12. We're gonna pinch, we're gonna twist, and get that going. And then we're gonna come out our 6 inches, and we're gonna cut. And now we're gonna put this on the top of, well, hold on, because I did it backwards. Let me flip it, because we want to alternate. And I'm just pinching it together, and we're going to frou-frou it up at the end. We're going to untwist our pipe cleaner one more time. It's getting chunky, so it gets a little tricky. Slide that out, and don't let go whatever you do. Okay. Michelle said no snow yet. I saw someone posted a picture earlier today in Wyoming, and they were covered in snow. We are wet and cold today. It's supposed to be even colder tomorrow. Okay. This is the last stack that we're doing. So at this point, you want to try to get it as tight as you can and really twist it. And then we're going to take this extra piece and come around. You don't want to make it too short. You want to leave yourself a little tail with the pipe cleaner, because that's what you're going to attach your attach it with to your bucket. At this point, you can kind of twist your ribbon and start fluffing it. Let me dovetail this one last piece. We're almost done with our ribbon. Okay, now we're just gonna kind of fluff that out, fluff them out. This piece probably was a little long, but that's okay, it's still pretty. And make it party. Party, that's an official word. Okay. So this is it just by itself. Okay, but we're gonna add the centerpiece again. Okay. So we're just gonna cover up that pipe cleaner. Now if you had a wider ribbon, you would just kind of fold it into thirds, but this one's kind of not very wide, so we're just gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball. And we're gonna cut, I guess that's maybe 8 inches, just enough to go around your bow. Okay, you don't have to dovetail it or anything. You're just gonna do, this is just gonna be the center. So You're gonna cover that, turn your bow over, and at this point you're gonna tie it, get it as tight as you can. And then you're gonna tie a knot. Okay, and then so then you have that, okay? But what we're gonna do, that's the bottom of our bow. And we're gonna snip off those tails, okay? As close as you can to the knot. Again, it's at the bottom, so if a little tail is left, that's okay. So you snipped off the big tail, and so then you're left with your pipe cleaner. So now we're gonna take our paint bucket and our handy dandy pipe cleaner, and you're just gonna kind of position it where you want it. You can actually even tie it, you can put it at the top, but that's gonna be kind of top heavy, but you can get it up there and tie it at the top, and you could twist it. And what I do is I twist it several times, the pipe cleaner together, and then I just take it and I kind of, if you can see what I'm doing, I'm just wrapping it around the handle, so it's going to hang on really tight. Okay, all right, and then I like to move it and have it on the side, kind of, and then at this point you can just fluff your ribbon to look all pretty. Oops, got far enough down, there we go. So at that point, yeah, so here we go. There is our paint bucket. Yay! That wasn't too terrible long. So there's our big bow, our paint bucket, and you can make your bow smaller. Like we started out with 7 inches. You can go down and you could start with 6 inches and go down from there. But it's really pretty. Got all the school colors, so it's ready to go. So that's how you upcycle a paint bucket. Again, I hope this inspires you to decoupage something. This is a really fun way to give a gift. And like I said, I've never given a handmade gift that people weren't touched by the gesture. So I hope it inspires you, like I said, to do some kind of upcycle. Decoupage is really easy. Kids love it. They could do it as well. If you liked this video, don't forget to click on the live notifications and pass it on to a friend. So love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me for crafting on this rainy afternoon. I hope you'll join us again soon. Happy crafting. Take care.